Alrighty, good evening and welcome to the very first City Council meeting for the new year. Will you please rise and join us for Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do a roll call of council. Councilmember Wozniak?
Here.
Lloyd?
Here.
Flynn?
Here.
Fowler?
Here.
Burke?
Here.
Willems?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. The first piece of business is the citizens' input, and we have three this evening. The first is Mike Hartsfield.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Kelly, how you doing? Sir, listen, I've talked to you already about...
Step up to the mic, please.
Right there. I've already talked to you about our water source. I think if we got together, we could make the city of Bella Vista an awesome place with an unlimited amount of water. And we're going to make an appointment with you. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that, okay?
Sure.
Wozniak, how you doing?
Fine.
Kelly?
Jason.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Gwen Hartsfield.
Good evening.
Hi.
I just want to say that we second that because, you know, we recently lost a house and they couldn't put the fire out. And so we have property that we're willing to work with Bella Vista and maybe put a water tower on there, and we can provide that. We're just outside of the skirts of the city limits, which we know because we had to cut off a piece of property for the utility grab that Bella Vista has. And so if there's anything that we can help the city with, we would be more than willing to help the city grow so that part of the city can grow as well towards the Highlands and as well as over to Suits Us Drive and all that, because we know that there's being some commercial business down that way. So if there's anything that we can do, we would, you know, be willing to talk and that. So anyways, I thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gwen.
Ms. Hartzell?
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what you're addressing?
Larry, this isn't the time for that.
You can have the response later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You're
sir.
going to do the response afterwards.
Yes, sir.
And you don't think I'm proud of you? Are you kidding me?
Sandy Fosnick.
Come on. You heard. You too. Come on, buddy.
So at work, they call me Safety Sandy. I came tonight because I want to talk about the trails that we're now considering for the extension of the Greenway. I know that there are a lot of people that are in support of it. There were also a lot of people in support of keeping Brittany Golf Course open. And I finally found a map. It's not terribly legible. It looks like the trail's going straight down the road. And I understand that originally there was a map of the trail on one side of the street, and then there was a map of the trail on the other side of the street. And from what I understand, it's been decided to put it on the side of the street with Brittany Golf Course. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm concerned. I heard at the work session someone say the city doesn't buy insurance on the bike trail after it's been built because then you're protected by the statute. Nobody can sue you if they get hurt because of this Arkansas statute. That doesn't apply to us citizens. If we're on Brittany Golf Course, we hit a golf ball and hit somebody on that trail, we're going to be sued. We already have council members on video stating that they think that those jumps beside the road are dangerous, Nothing has ever been done about it. I think it's a huge liability issue that's going to blow up on us. And I think that that bike trail should be put on the other side of the street. That would take care of getting rid of those jumps that are within 4 feet of the road. It just, I don't get it. So I hope that you consider moving it to the other side of the road. I know someone personally who constantly hooks on hole number 3, gonna hit someone, and I've got a liability policy. I may have to raise it to $5 million. I don't know if $1 million's gonna be enough. So
Great.
that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, now we get to council reply. Sandy, I can tell you that that is just an artistic rendering at the moment. We haven't seen any engineering plans at all yet. So I'm not sure which side of Houston it's actually going to go on. I got it. But we'll have them soon, I hope. But the piece of legislation tonight is not to start the construction. It's simply to get a license done and get that fixed first with the POA, because they have to agree to it as well. I can talk to you after, okay?
I just had one quick question. Does that license agreement not state the actual tracts of land that you're considering licensing?
It'll have the parcels on it, yes. But where it's going to sit on the parcel, we have no idea.
And so one side of the street or the other could be the same parcel?
Probably not, no. But I'd have to look at the parcels. I haven't done that. But I want to see the engineering plans. That's probably more important. But thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Anyone else?
Well, is this our time?
Yep.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing with Gwen and Mike. I don't know if it's possible. They left awful quickly. If we could get a phone number so I could call, and if it's
I have
possible.
no idea. We don't run a utility, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to find out.
You
You know
do?
what they're talking about. At least
I have a little bit.
become a little educated.
I can share it with you afterwards what
Okay.
their thoughts
Okay.
are.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Anybody else, sir?
Do you want to share it now? Do you know what the subject is that we're talking about?
Well, they're thinking of tapping into the Ruby Doo.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
You know what that is and where it is? Okay.
looked at it.
Nobody else? Okay.
I'll only say one thing.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Sandy. A lot of times when we hear public comment, we hear things like, when I say for the first time, I wasn't made aware of this. I wish I would have gotten an email ahead of time, so maybe could have done a little bit more research and a little bit further conversations with people, just for further education. To the mayor's point, I'm not exactly sure specifically where the trail is laid out to go. Only thing I could tell you is I know that there are going to be several of us that will now be looking into it, to get some further information. So I can definitely tell you we'll do that. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on with the approval of the minutes from the December 16th, 2019 council meeting. Are there any errors? No. Okay. Are there any errors or omissions? I've already got to move.
Second.
Okay.
Okay,
Ross,
roll call
Ross, did you
vote.
do both?
No.
I read it.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay.
Councilmember Wilms,
Aye.
Burke,
Yes.
Fowler.
Abstain. I wasn't here in December.
Okay. Flynn,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Carried 5-4 and 1 abstain.
Okay, thank you. I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read all proposed resolutions on the agenda,
It's
but,
not necessary, Mayor,
oh, because it's only,
there are no ordinances.
okay. Alrighty, the first two pieces of business we have it's something that we have to do in the first council meeting of every year. So the first one is to appoint a mayor pro tem for the year 2020. A mayor pro tem will replace me if I become incapacitated or if I'm going to be away for a while, say on vacation. It's been John for the past 5 years. However, we have a nomination process that we go through. Anybody can nominate someone on council or they can nominate themselves. and there is no requirement for a second to that nomination. And if we have more than one, then we will vote by name, not yes or no. So I'll open the floor for nominations.
John Flynn?
Okay?
Mayor Christie,
Yes, sir.
I would like to acknowledge Councilmember Flynn for the previous years that he's carried that role. I think he's served well in that capacity. And at the same time, I think it's probably a good idea to have some rotation in that position. I'd like to nominate Councilmember Fowler.
Okay? Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close the floor
Call
to
the
nominations.
roll, and the vote will be Fowler or Flynn.
Yep.
That'll be how you respond.
Wozniak,
Flynn?
Wilms,
Fowler.
Fowler,
You get a vote.
They called you Doug.
Oh, it's a tough one. I don't like being put necessarily in
You
this
don't like
position.
either candidate?
Yeah, there you go.
I'll make it easy on you. I'll do whatever you do.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll say Fowler.
Burke,
Fowler.
Boyd,
Flynn.
Go ahead.
Flynn,
Flynn.
Mayor, you may cast a deciding vote.
Oh, great. Yay for me. I have a question for you. Are you going to be able to do that as well as the municipal depository?
Well, I mean, we're both on the municipal depository, and those usually take about 5 minutes, and we had, what, 3 last year?
Mayor, I got to remind, technically no debates allowed during.
Okay.
Oh,
There's a lot of travel, Doug, as well. No, I think I'll stick with Flynn.
What's that?
Flynn,
Councilmember
Mayor Pro Tem,
will be the mayor pro tem.
4-3.
Okay, the next one is a resolution designating authorized dispersing officers and municipal depository board for the city of Bella Vista for the calendar year 2020. So the dispersing officers is a fancy name for those who can sign checks. And the municipal depository board, as Councilmember Fowler mentioned, meets very, very infrequently. Only when we have investments like CDs that are coming up or they've been called, and our investment advisors, which is Cruz, will actually say, okay, now here's a bunch of options for you. You can buy this CD at this interest rate, but it's only good for these years, that type of thing. So we sit down as a group and we select the actual investment opportunity that we want to go to. And, but yeah, the meetings are pretty quick, aren't they, Doug? So hopefully you've all had a chance to look at it. You can see that 2 signatures are required on all transactions, all checks. There's myself and the finance director, and as well as the mayor pro tem, the city clerk, Wayne Jertson, the police chief, James Graves, and council member Jim Woniziak. And the municipal depository board is myself, our finance director, Carrie Elston, and council member Doug Fowler. Is there any discussion at all? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
All right, roll call. Councilmember Burke,
Yes.
Fowler,
yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Boyd,
Yes.
carried, 6-0.
Thank you. The next resolution is amending the 2020 city budget to appropriate $55,000 in undesignated reserves to the City Hall Police Fire Security Fence Project. as a result of the tragic shooting in Fayetteville, we took a very hard look at our own security, particularly around the back of Fire Station Number 1 and the police station. It's wide open. And Chief Graves and Chief Sims and myself felt that, yes, we should take some precaution. So we went out and we got an estimate, and it would be a 6-foot-high chain link fence with another foot high of barbed wire, which is something we already have going around the small compound where we keep various pieces of equipment, Chief, that we confiscate, for lack of a better word. Then right across the front, we would have a gate. It would be a lift gate, not a single bar. It would be a full chain link going up. There would be sensors, probably loop detectors in the pavement themselves, so that when it senses a car comes, it moves quickly so the police can get out, or if there's a fire apparatus back there, it can also get out. And then if you want to get in, there'll be a key fob swipe, and that'll have limited access as well. So the reason for having this is because when we built the budget, we had no idea that we would be entertaining this. And tragically, unfortunately, it's one of these things where we have to now. And the state law requires that before you can go to bid, because of the size of this, we will have to go to bid. You have to have money in the budget before you can go to bid. So we're just getting all our ducks lined up. This is pulling money from so-called reserves and moving it into the budget, into an actual line item. I've sat with Finance Director Elston. It has very, very little impact on our reserves. We have $1 million cushion between where we are today and the actual 25%, which is the threshold. So any discussion at all? Both chiefs are here. I'm sure they'd entertain any questions if you have one. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second?
All right, roll call vote again. Councilmember Lloyd,
Yes.
Councilmember Flynn,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
carried 6-0.
Thank you very much for helping us keep our first responders safe. The next resolution is authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to enter into a limited terminable license agreement with Bella Vista Village Property Owners Association, Inc. for the purposes of facilitating an extension of the Razorback Greenway into the city. As I mentioned a minute ago when Sandy was talking, this is not approving the construction. This is simply saying that we're willing to move into a license agreement with the POA. The POA Board of Directors also has to approve this. They have yet to do that yet. So we're taking the first step because their meeting is later than ours. So is there any discussion at all?
I guess my question would be is, has our legal counsel looked at this, and does it meet with reasonable protections that we would normally approach a contract of this nature?
Yes, I've read it. And it is akin to the existing trail agreements, license agreements that we've entered into previously. And so I guess in general, to answer your question, yes. I mean, you're asking me if I think it's reasonable. There's a value judgment there. That's y'all's decision to make, whether it's reasonable or not. It does what it purports to do, which is, I think, what you expect me to make sure that it does. So I can give you that assurance.
Okay. Anyone else? Sir?
I had a comment, kind of follow up on what my colleague Steve Burke pointed out at the work session. This is an extension of the Razorback Greenway, so it's quite a bit different from our soft surface trails. It's going to be more like a wide sidewalk, really. My understanding is it would be hard surface. And so I think it'll be very user-friendly for different groups of people. And I think it'd be a real plus for the community. You know, I've had people complain about, or wish that we had more sidewalks in Bella Vista, which obviously is a daunting task, both financially and with our topography. So this is an opportunity to have some really extra nice, extra wide sidewalk in part of our city. And thanks to the generosity of the Walton Foundation, it's looks like it'll become a reality.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
What is the timeline in terms of moving this through to fruition, so we can have a ribbon cutting and start using that?
Oh, we're far away from that yet. We haven't seen the plans.
Who's in charge of that? Is that a city responsibility, or is that?
No, the plans are being put together. Doug, is the Trailblazers are putting the plans together, but they won't oversee? Or is it ATT? Sorry.
It's an engineering firm called Ecological Design Group.
Okay. And we haven't seen any drawings or plans yet, is that correct?
We have seen.
Oh, you have seen the plans? Okay. So you and I should get together because I haven't seen them yet. Okay.
Is this a city responsibility for oversight?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Steve?
Have we involved our city engineer in this?
Yes, sir.
Is that Garber?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Steve?
Mayor Christie, I have heard this referred to as another bike trails project, and I don't see it that way. To me, the bike trails are narrow, soft surface pathways through the woods that really accommodate mountain bikers of a certain skill level and hikers of a certain skill level. This is a 10 feet wide hard surface, and it's, in my opinion, the Razorback Greenway is not a trail. This extension serves different outcomes than the trails as we know them, the Back 40 and the Central Trails, or Little Sugar Trails as they're known. This accommodates a much larger user community. Walkers, runners, strollers, cyclists, children of all skill levels can make use of this. And I think it provides real connectivity in our community for residents to access neighborhoods, services, businesses, and especially in this case, school. And I think by providing for one of our primary retail centers, the area around Allen's Supermarket and such, being able to provide access to that from trail users is a pro-business proposition. So I see this project as being pro-resident and pro-business, and with that I support the project.
Thank you. Anyone else?
No, I just want to say, so, we've had the perspective of a couple of council members, which is great, but I think a larger voice was heard when we had the public input session at Cooper Elementary School, and it was in the cafeteria. And I went, just to see what the support was going to be in the community. And I sincerely, when I use this word, I'm sincere, I was astounded. I mean, the cafeteria was completely, really packed. We had a hard time finding chairs for everybody. We had to pull out every single table in there and every single chair to accommodate. And the buzz was really pretty exciting. I will say there were a couple people there that were not in favor of it. I think it was like 2 in the whole entire room, and that's it. So as much as it's nice to hear from city council members and their support, I think the real excitement was in the buzz of the community that this was coming.
Anyone else? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All right. Councilmember Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
carried 6-0.
Thank you. The next resolution approving the mayor's appointments of Kyler Skates to position 6 on the Bella Vista Board of Construction Appeals. This is a board that doesn't meet all that often, but we have a very strong cadre of people on there. Most of them are past builders. Mr. Skates has already been serving, and he agreed to re-up and serve some more. And any discussion on this at all? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Councilmember Lloyd,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
carried 6-0.
The next is a resolution adopting amendments to the City of Bella Vista Employee Handbook. We haven't updated the handbook in 2 years, so it's now time. Our HR director has been spending a lot of time for months going through it with a fine-tooth comb. You may remember at the work session, Councilmember Wilms suggested some changes, which he put in front of you this evening. And then just before the meeting, Fire Chief Sims actually showed, it's an excerpt of the state, is it? Yeah, the state fire code?
No,
State, no, what is it?
I can address this.
Okay,
I'm aware of it, there's a state statute that just talks a little bit about procedure when you're talking about altering sick leave for police officers. There's a similar provision for firefighters. And so I feel confident we've complied with that, but I can't answer it 100% as I sit here and finding this question out within an hour of the meeting, because I would just need to double check and go through the old ordinances, make sure they did at some point did not adopt an ordinance doing what we currently do. I don't believe they did.
okay.
But if there's an open question like that, I've got to make sure that we're procedurally correct. And so I want to look into it. So I wish those questions didn't come up within an hour of the meeting, but they do. And so we had our bond counsel in here a couple of months ago saying, we're terrible writing things on the fly. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So this has waited this long. It'll wait one more month, and let's just look at it and tie it down and make sure we're okay. So I would ask you to put it off for a month.
Okay, so I entertain a motion to table.
Move to table until next month's meeting.
Okay,
Second.
any discussion? Okay, Wayne?
Councilmember Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
carried 6-0.
Okay, meetings and announcements. There are a couple of changes, plus there are 3 meetings that I'm going to add on that aren't here. The next council work session will be held Tuesday, February the 18th at 5:30 in the City Hall conference room. The next regular meeting of the City Council will be Monday, February 24th at 6:30 in the Bella Vista District Court Building. The Planning Commission work session will be Thursday, January the 30th at 4:30 here in the Court Building. And the Planning Commission regular meeting will be February 10th at 6:30 in the Bella Vista District Court. Board of Zoning Adjustment will be February the 18th, not January the 21st, at 5:30 here in the Court Building. And the Board of Construction Appeals will be February the 11th here in the Court Building if it is required. Also, there are 3 town halls that are coming up in February to discuss the bond issue that we've been talking about. These are information sessions, and I would encourage you to attend to get as much information as you possibly can. The first session is February the 4th at 6 p.m. in Reardon Hall. And our thanks to the POA for letting us use that facility. February the 5th at 5 p.m. here in the courthouse. And then February the 6th is a morning. Yep, go ahead. Oh, 1500? Okay, so February the 5th is at 3 p.m., my error, here in the courthouse. And February the 6th is 10 o'clock in the morning at Highlands United Methodist Church out on Glasgow. And our thanks to the pastor and the parishioners for letting us use that facility. And with that, thank you, councilors. We are adjourned.